Hey Bethany, hey Martin, how are you guys?
Hi, Sherry. How are you?
Doing well.
Hi.
Hi. I'm like, is this a Friday night? Because, it reminds me of, the last time, not the last time, but, oftentimes when we're together, it was like the Friday nights when we were volunteering for the Actuarial Foundation and mentoring the elementary kids that were talented in math and hoping that they would pursue actuarial career. It was always on a Friday night. And so it's like, is this a Friday night?
Those were some fun evenings. Yeah, no, we had a good time with the group,
Yeah.
and I think the actuaries enjoyed ourselves as much as the students did. And
Yeah.
um,
Mhm.
legendary though is that cake you made, Sherry, that Rubik's cube cake. I talked to the teacher, who is my sister, by the way, and even some students who were in there, and they bring up that cake still. So that was amazing
Yeah.
memories for everybody.
I was very inspired by, how talented those kids were in solving the Rubik's Cube in no time, behind the back and with their eyes closed. I was so inspired. Like I need to make a Rubik's Cube cake for them.
Yeah. And I don't know if you remember this, but you actually made my wedding cake as well. When I got married, it was Super Pie Day, and so you wanted to make me a pie themed wedding cake, and it also had like a formula on it for a heart, and it was really incredible. And it had the first four digits of pi because it was the date of my wedding,
Yeah.
3.1415. And I tell everybbe about that when I start a new job or whatever and do an intro about myself. That's my fun fact, is that I got married on Super Pie Day and had a pie themed cake. So
Once in a century. I'm glad I got the opportunity to do that. So
yeah.
yeah, but you guys bring up, we talked about volunteering. SOA obviously is a very heavily dependent organization on volunteers. And on that topic of volunteering, I'm very curious of, what value do you guys find in volunteering? Because I know you guys are super volunteers. Not only have our paths crossed in the Actuarial Foundation volunteering that we did, what, 15 years ago, but more recently, we've crossed paths in the OSU's Math Department Advisory Board, which is also a volunteer position. So, I'm very curious of what drives you in volunteering. What value do you find from it?
Yeah, I think when I volunteer for something, it's got to feel right, and you don't always know what the outcome's going to be or what the impact is. And back to that classroom, the short term, we had enjoyable evenings. Might have been a role model or something the students could look, envision themselves being when they grew up. But you don't always know the long term impact. And I was saying, that class had maybe 15 to 20 students in it. And now that we're fast forward 10 or 15 years, four of those students pursued actuarial studies.
Wow.
So they're in college now or graduated. So that's just amazing. It's not something we would have thought at the time as we were going through it. That's what the impact would be, but it did have a strong impact.
Yeah, it's a very good ratio that the Actuarial Foundation should be very proud of too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. For me, I really feel that it's important for me to give back. I benefited for so many years as a student, as a candidate taking exams, and now I'm able to volunteer with the Society of Actuaries on one of the exam committees. But I think about how I wouldn't be an actuary today if it wasn't for all the time that people put into my success, from writing the exams to grading the exams, maintaining the modules, giving me feedback on exams when I failed, being facilitators at the APC and the FAC. And, now that I'm credentialed myself, I'm able to kind of peek behind the curtain and see the goings on. And I want to be a part of it and help the next generation of actuaries achieve their credentials as well. So it's really important to me to be able to give back in a way that, I was given to.
Right. Well, this is very valuable feedback. Thank you very much. It inspires me to keep volunteering too.
Yeah, thanks. It was good to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.